Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all something. Life ain't no straight line. It ain't no smooth road paved with gold and good times. Nah. Life is like trying to drive a broke down car through a thunderstorm with one headlight, no GPS, and a flat tire, and somehow you still gotta get where you're going. See, too many people wanna skip the struggle. They wanna fast forward to the finish line, but let me tell you, you gotta believe in your journey. That journey, World War journey, is what shapes you. It's where your strength is built. It's where your faith is tested. And it's where your story becomes a testimony. I ain't standing up here today because everything went perfect in my life. I'm here because I kept going when it didn't. I'm here because I believed in a God that gave me a purpose, even when the plan didn't make sense. And I want y'all to understand your journey is yours, nobody else's. So stop comparing, stop doubting, and start believing. Today, we're going to talk about how to trust the process, how to keep moving when the road gets tough, and how to believe in your journey, even when nobody else does. You ready? Hop pauses, scans the crowd, smile widens. Let's get into it. Your delay is not your denial. See, most people here wait and think it means no. But those two things are not the same. When something good in your life takes time, when the doors don't open right away, when the opportunity doesn't come on your timeline, that doesn't mean it's not coming. It means it's not time yet. It means you're still in the oven. You ain't ready to be served. And you know what happens when you take something out the oven too early. It falls flat. It ain't done. It can't hold up. That's the same thing with your life. There are blessings that are too heavy for the version of you that exists right now. You want the success, but you don't have the habits. You want the stage, but you ain't ready for the spotlight. You praying for the harvest attempt, but you haven't planted the discipline yet. So when life delays you, when it says hold on, when it puts you on pause, that is not a punishment attempt. That is preparation. It's a divine delay. It's a sign that something bigger is being built in you. See, when I was sleeping in my car, when I was broke, hungry, wondering if comedy was even gonna work out, I wasn't being denied. I was being developed. God was shaping my character in private before he could bless me in public. Because if he had given me everything I wanted back then, I would have lost it. I would have messed it up. I didn't know how to handle success. I didn't know how to manage peace. And I definitely didn't know how to manage money. That delay, that time in the dark, that was the season where my roots grew. You can't grow fruit without deep roots. And here's the truth, most people quit in the delay. They give up too soon. They walk away from what was about to be theirs because they can't stand being uncomfortable. They confuse being uncomfortable with being unsuccessful. But growth don't happen when you're comfortable. Growth happens when you don't know how it's gonna work out, but you show up anyway. Growth happens when you feel stuck, but you keep climbing. Growth happens when it don't look like nothing's changing, but your faith says, keep moving. Let me tell you something, success takes time, and we live in a world where everything's instant. You can order a meal on your phone, and it's at your door in 15 minutes. You can post a picture, and within seconds you got likes and comments. But purpose don't work like that. Destiny don't work like that. You can't microwave greatness. You can't rush the process and expect the promise. Real impact is slow cooked. It's marinated in failure, seasoned with patience, and served with humility. That delay is God making sure you're not just successful, you're sustainable. And just because it's taking longer than you expected don't mean it's not happening. The seeds you've sown, they're still growing. Even when you can't see it, even when the soil looks dry, something is happening underground. Something is shifting, but you gotta believe in it before you see it. That's the difference between people who make it and people who don't believe. Some folks stop showing up just because they don't see results right away. Others, they keep showing up, they keep grinding, they keep praying, they keep working, even when there's no applause. And those are the people who walk into rooms they once only dreamed about. What you're going through right now, it's not denial. It's not the end of your story. It's just the middle. And the middle never feels good. The middle feels messy, confusing, slow. But it's necessary. because the middle is where you become who you need to be. And if you try to skip that part, you miss the preparation that's designed to hold the weight of the blessing you're praying for. You gotta stop treating every delay like it's a door slammed in your face. Sometimes the door ain't locked, it's just not open yet. And if you keep standing there in faith, it will open when it's time. Don't let the enemy use time to talk you out of your destiny. Just because it's taking time doesn't mean it's not yours. It doesn't mean you were wrong to dream big. It doesn't mean your vision was foolish. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right on schedule for your own assignment. You're in the process of becoming the person who can carry the dream, not just receive it. So while it might feel like you're stuck, you're not. You're growing. You're maturing. You're learning lessons that the future version of you is gonna need. The truth is, the longer it takes, the stronger the foundation. Some of the most powerful stories, the deepest breakthroughs, the most life-changing successes, they came after a long wait, after rejection, after pain, after silence. But when it came in full. Purpose don't come without pressure. That's the part they don't tell you when you start chasing your dream. Everybody loves to talk about the glory, the stage, the success, the applause, but they skip over the grind, the loneliness, the weight you gotta carry to get there. Attempt. If you think stepping into your purpose is gonna be all smooth and easy, you're already setting yourself up for disappointment. Pressure is part of the process. It's not a sign something's going wrong, it's confirmation that something real is being formed inside of you. Think about anything that has value. A diamond, for example. A diamond don't just show up shining, it starts as coal. And it's the pressure, the heat, the time, the crushing weight, that's what turns it into something valuable. So when you start feeling like life is pressing down on you, like everything's getting tight and uncomfortable, that's not punishment. That's purpose doing its work. That's the pressure building you into something stronger than you were before. See, purpose will stretch you. It'll pull things out of you that you didn't even know were in there. It'll force you to grow in places where you've been stuck for years, and growth ain't always pretty. It's painful sometimes. You gotta leave behind old habits, old mindsets, even old relationships that can't come with you to your next level. And that hurts. But pressure has a way of revealing what's real. It shows you what you truly believe. It shows you what you're made of. It exposes weakness, yes, but it also activates strength. People think walking in purpose is just about talent or passion. But talent without endurance won't take you far. Passion without pressure won't produce power. It's easy to be excited when everything's going right. But can you still move when everything's going wrong? Can you still believe when nothing's working? That's when you find out if you're serious about your calling. That's when you separate the wishers from the warriors. Pressure is what creates capacity. You want more, but are you ready to carry more? Everybody wants the blessing, but can you handle the weight of it? Purpose adds weight to your life. It adds responsibility. And that pressure, it's not trying to break you. It's trying to build your shoulders up. It's trying to stretch your faith so you don't fold when the real test comes. If you get the platform before you get the strength, you'll collapse under it. Attempt. That's why the pressure comes first. Think about the athletes, the ones we admire. Before they ever stepped into the spotlight, they were in the gym, sweating, bleeding, training, pushing their bodies past the limit. That pressure prepared them for the big moment. Same thing in life. You don't just wake up ready to walk in purpose. You go through some things, you get tested, you get refined. That's how you grow into the person who can handle what you're asking for. Most people want the purpose, but not the pressure. They want the outcome, but not the process. But you can't skip steps. Pressure is part of the price you pay to become who you were born to be. It's the uncomfortable space between who you are and who you're meant to be. You're gonna have to cry sometimes. You're gonna feel misunderstood. You're gonna question yourself. But that's how greatness is forged. It's not found in comfort, it's found in the fire. And don't confuse pressure with punishment. That's where a lot of people get it twisted. Just because you're under stress doesn't mean you're out of alignment. Sometimes pressure is the confirmation that you're right where you need to be. The pressure is proof that something is shifting. You're being molded, shaped, grown. You're becoming more than you were. The question is, will you stay in it long enough to see the result? Some of the most powerful people you know were formed in the furnace. They didn't just arrive, they endured. They went through the pressure, the pain, the dark nights, and came out refined. And you can't get their level without going through your own. Everybody's pressure looks different, but the principle is the same. Pressure produces power. Purpose will call you to something higher, and that climb comes with weight. But that weight is what develops your strength. So when life starts pressing on you, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is this building in me? Because purpose never shows up without pressure. The pressure is proof that there's something greater inside of you trying to rise. And once you understand that, you stop running from it and start embracing it. You gotta keep walking even when you don't see the way. That's the hardest part of the journey right there. When the vision is big, but the path is blurry. When you know you were made for something more, but life keeps throwing detours, delays, and dead ends in your face. That's when most people give up, not because they don't want it, but because they can't see how it's ever gonna happen. But the truth is, clarity doesn't come before the movement. It comes with the movement. You don't need to have it all figured out to take the next step. You just need to take the step that's in front of you. Too many people are waiting for a perfect sign, waiting for every door to open, every answer to be clear before they do anything. But that's not how faith works. Faith don't wait for evidence. It creates it. Faith is walking through the fog, knowing that even if you can't see 10 steps ahead, the ground is still solid under your feet. It's trusting that God didn't give you that dream for no reason. He gave it to you so you could walk it out, not just sit and fantasize about it. Every major move in your life is going to require a season of uncertainty. It's going to require a season where you walk with more questions than answers, where you trust your spirit more than your senses, where you believe in what's unseen more than what's visible. That's where the real work happens. In the in-between, in the days when nothing makes sense, but you keep going anyway, that's where character is built. That's where faith is forged. Sometimes life will test you by taking away the map. You knew where you were going, you had a plan, and then everything shifts, doors close, people walk away, opportunities dry up, and you feel stuck, lost, like you missed your chance. But let me tell you, detours don't cancel destiny. Delays don't delete calling. Just because the route changed doesn't mean the destination changed. Sometimes God has to reroute you, not to punish you, but to protect you. And the only thing He asks of you is to keep walking. You gotta understand, there are blessings that don't show up until you move. There are doors that don't open until you get close enough, but they're not gonna swing wide from a distance. They open for the ones who have the courage to walk toward them, even when it's dark, even when it's scary, even when they don't know what's on the other side. If you sit still waiting for confirmation before you act, you'll miss out on what was meant for you. Movement creates momentum. You take one step and suddenly the next one becomes clearer. You make one decision and the path starts to unfold. It's like driving at night. Your headlights don't show the whole road. Just enough for the next few feet. But if you keep driving, you'll eventually get where you're supposed to be. Same thing in life. You don't need to see it all. You just need to move with what you do know and trust that what you don't know will be revealed along the way. There's gonna be times when it feels like nothing's working, like your prayers are bouncing off the ceiling, like your effort doesn't matter. But those are the moments when walking in faith matters most. Not when everything's lining up, but when nothing is. That's when it's real. Anybody can believe when the evidence is clear, but it takes something special to walk when the lights are off and the road is rough. Walking through the unknown doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're learning how to depend on something deeper. It means you're building a kind of strength that can't be taught in comfort. You're becoming someone who doesn't need external validation to move forward. someone who walks because they know there's something waiting on the other side of obedience. You don't always need a plan. Sometimes you just need the faith to put one foot in front of the other. And don't let fear freeze you. Fear is a liar. Fear will have you believing that standing still is safe, but in reality, standing still is where dreams go to die. Progress don't come from being perfect. It comes from being persistent. You fall, you get back up. You stumble, you take another step. That's how you win. Not by having it all together, but by refusing to stop. Because the ones who keep walking are the ones who make it to the promise. Stop asking people to validate what God already gave you. That right there is one of the biggest traps people fall into. You got a dream, a calling, a gift planted inside of you, but instead of walking in it boldly, you keep looking around to see if other people approve. Tempt. You keep asking folks who didn't give you the vision to co-sign it. And when they don't see it, when they don't believe in it, you start doubting yourself. But let me tell you, your purpose don't need permission. Your calling don't require confirmation from anybody else. The truth is to attempt. People will only see you through the lens of their own limitations. If they don't believe something's possible for them to attempt, they'll never believe it's possible for you. And that's not a reflection of your potential. That's a reflection of their perspective. Stop shrinking your dream to fit inside somebody else's comfort zone. Stop editing your purpose just to make other people feel comfortable. God didn't make you unique so you could blend in. He made you different so you could stand out, so you could lead, not follow. And here's the kicker. Most people you're waiting on approval from, they're not qualified to validate your journey in the first place, to attempt. They weren't there when you cried yourself to sleep. They didn't see the battles you fought in silence. They don't know the fire you had to walk through just to be standing where you are right now. So why are you giving them power over your purpose? Why are you handing them the pen to write a story that was never theirs to write? You gotta understand, when God gives you a vision, He gives it to you, not your mama, not your best friend, not your co-worker. You. That means they're not always gonna understand it. They're not always gonna agree with it. And that's okay. It's not their job to get it. It's your to carry it. It's your responsibility to protect it, to nurture it, and to walk in it, even when nobody else claps, even when nobody else says, yeah, I see it too. Sometimes you gotta walk alone before the crowd shows up. Sometimes you gotta move in silence before the world catches on. You waiting for applause, but purpose don't always come with praise. It comes with pressure. It comes with doubt. It comes with late nights and silent tears. And if you keep waiting for someone to hype you up before you move, you'll never take the first step. Tempt. Some of the greatest breakthroughs come after the quiet seasons, when nobody's watching, nobody's cheering, and you still choose to show up. That's where the real confidence is built, not in other people's words, but in your own consistency. Think about the people who changed the world. They didn't wait for popular opinion. They didn't wait for everybody to agree. They moved on conviction. They acted on faith. And that faith wasn't dependent on validation. It was rooted in purpose. You gotta get to a place where belief in your calling is stronger than your need for approval. Where you stop second guessing yourself every time someone questions your direction. Not everybody's gonna get it, and they're not supposed to. Sometimes people won't validate your dream because it reminds them of the one they gave up on. Your boldness challenges their comfort. Your fire exposes their fear. And instead of cheering for you, they try to cool you down. But you can't let their insecurity become your ceiling. You can't let their disbelief become your decision-making guide. Your destiny is bigger than their doubt. And let's be honest, there are gonna be seasons where it feels like you're the only one who sees it. Where nobody calls, nobody encourages, and nobody understands thing to attempt. That's when you dig deep. That's when you remind yourself that you don't need confirmation to keep going. You've already been chosen. You've already been equipped. You've already been called. So act like it, move like it, speak like it. Because when you stop seeking validation, you start walking in authority. You start showing up with confidence, not arrogance. Confidence in what's already been placed in your hands. And that kind of confidence, it's unshakable. It's not based on likes, followers, applause, or approval. It's based on truth. And the truth is, what God placed in you is enough. You don't need a committee to say yes. You don't need everybody to believe in you. You just need to believe in what's already yours. Every setback is a setup for your comeback. That's not just a catchy phrase, that's real life. Everybody loves the comeback story, but nobody wants to go through the setback that makes the comeback possible. We see the victories, the achievements, the shine, but we forget that behind every triumph is a chapter full of pain, disappointment, and struggle. The setback isn't there to destroy you. It's there to develop you. It's a tool, not a tombstone. It's not the end of your story, it's the turning point. Life has a way of humbling you. One minute you think you've got everything figured out, and the next, the rug gets pulled out from under you. You lose the job, the relationship falls apart, the opportunity disappears, your plans go sideways. And in that moment, it's tempting to think, that's it, it's over. But that's just the beginning. Because when you hit rock bottom, you find out what you're really made of. You find out how strong your foundation is. And sometimes, rock bottom is the only solid ground God can build a real comeback on. You gotta stop looking at setbacks as signs that you're not good enough. Setbacks don't mean failure. They mean formation. Something is being shaped in you. You're being refined. You're being taught lessons you could never learn when everything was going your way. There are qualities you need for the next level: resilience, patience, humility, courage. And those only get built when the storm hits. You don't build muscle in comfort. You build it under pressure. And the setback is where that pressure starts. Some of the greatest blessings in your life are going to come disguised as disappointments. You'll look back one day and say, if that hadn't gone wrong, I wouldn't have ended up where I am now. That door that closed wasn't rejection, it was redirection. That delay wasn't denial, it was divine timing. Attempt. That heartbreak wasn't destruction, it was preparation. But you don't see it in the moment. In the moment, it just hurts. But pain always has purpose when you let it teach you something. And let me tell you, the comeback isn't just about bouncing back to where you were. It's about rising up stronger, wiser, better than before. The comeback is the part of the story where everything you went through starts to make sense. Where all the tears, all the frustration, all the sleepless nights become fuel. And people start to wonder how you made it through, how you still smiling, how you still standing. But they didn't see the grind behind the scenes. They didn't see you keep moving when it looked like nothing was happening. See, setbacks test your faith. They make you question everything, but they also give you a chance to decide what kind of person you're gonna be. Are you gonna quit because it got hard? Or are you gonna dig deep and keep fighting for your vision? Are you gonna let one loss define you? Or are you gonna use it as a lesson to grow? That decision right there is what shapes your comeback. It's not about the setback itself, attempt. It's about your response to it. You might have taken a hit, but you're still breathing. You might have fallen, but you can still get back up. You might have lost something, but you didn't lose everything. And as long as you have breath, you have a chance to rebuild, a chance to redirect, a chance to rise. Your story doesn't end at the setback. That's just the chapter that makes the ending more powerful. And don't be ashamed of your setbacks. Don't try to hide them or pretend they didn't happen. Own them. Wear them as proof that you went through the fire and came out the other side. People relate more to your struggle than your success. Your story might be the encouragement someone else needs to survive their own setback. So tell it with boldness. Tell it with truth. Tell it with pride. Because the comeback isn't just about you. It's about who you become in the process. It's about showing others what's possible. It's about turning your pain into purpose. And every time you rise after falling, you're reminding the world that failure doesn't have the final word. Strength does, faith does, grit does, and that comeback, it starts the moment you decide the setback won't be the end.